Moving on to the Saturday slate, we got a ESPN 3:30 Eastern game, 12:30 Pacific. One of my favorite rivalries in college football. Miami, Florida State in Tallahassee. Looks like Miami's been bet up here, big man. The market liking the Canes, -3 now, pretty much across the board. Total-wise, we can find 46 almost everywhere, 46.5 at the Greek using the SBR odds screen. How are you looking to bet Canes Seminoles here, big man?
Yeah, I'm all over Miami. It's one of my, it's about as close to a premium pick as you're going to get from me. I'm even considering even sending this one out, but I'm going to give it out for free here on the show. I love Miami in this game. I think this is a perfect situation for this team to really throw in the fact that they're a team to be reckoned with in the ACC this week. They're off of a very solid win on the road against Duke, and Drew, what was so impressive to me in that game was how well they played on the defensive end. They really made it difficult for Daniel Jones to do anything worth in that game. They only scored 6 points. They really just shut them down the whole game. And, really you put a lot of stock in what their defensive line's been able to do. They're one of the best teams in the country in pressuring the quarterback, getting to the quarterback. And they have a solid secondary that has turnovers on their mind seemingly every time they have a down. The concern surely for me in this game, Drew, is not only the quarterback for Florida State, who has made it clear he really can't move this offense, but also the fact that this team is very young. They don't have a particularly strong group of weapons here. I'm not saying they're not talented. They're just not very experienced. They're young kids. A lot of them are freshmen. You got a quarterback thrown into the wolves here, really. And if you saw last week, Drew, in one of my shows here at SBR, I mentioned, and I want to go back to what Teddy Cover said. He made an interesting point on one of his shows about Wake not being able to say that they can beat Florida State at any position. I think if they had a little bit more athleticism last week, they would have beat Florida State. Here's the thing. Miami does have that athleticism, and I think they're more along the lines of what Florida State is from an athletic standpoint. You look at their Florida State offensive line, Drew, they lead the country in tackles for loss allowed, and they're giving up 4 sacks per game. This offensive line is struggling right now. They don't have a ton of weapons. I think they're really going to struggle again to move the football in this game, and I think finally Miami gets a little revenge in Florida State. They've owned them over the years. But you look at Miami, they've covered 14 of 19 as a favorite. I think this is a really good number. I think they run away and win this game 24-13, 24-16, something like that. I think Miami gets the revenge and gets the job done.
And big man, what do you think about Miami offensively? So you think, I mean, you said the score range, but against the Florida State defense, I guess they have been pretty good this year. Do you think they'll have success running the football?
They have been pretty good, but I think if Mark Walton's going to play in this game, I think Mark Walton is a really dynamic player. I think he's a kid that doesn't get a ton of respect just because of where Miami's been over the last 5 years. They just haven't been really that team we know they are, but I think he's really talented. Malik Rozier looked great last week against a good Duke defense, and they have some weapons on the outside, Amon Richards and Braxton Berrios. I like this team. I've said it before, Drew. I think they're going to win the ACC, and I know people are going to say, well, you mean the Coastal? No, I think they're going to beat Clemson long term. I think down the road, this is a team we must look out for. I like Memphis a lot, and I think this is one of those games where they go on the road and beat a Florida State team that I think right now is just not very good.